Welcome to Alaya. I'm pleased to have you join us this morning. Nasokyate veshant, Kenya kadasam jiko, Venecha, Kelenoksa yaktisemu, Shadiva ksha, Nerishta punya, Kenya tusi amsa, Nira, Kanyalo sutyan, Sajish naktasumdya, Deshna doshati naktosa. To realize the consciousness is to live in a connected space, a space of knowing and clarity and power. To look at the consciousness as something that is powerful and controlling. But that is the wrong look. The consciousness indeed is powerful, but it's not controlling. The consciousness empowers you to transcend and form and reform and make your life in a way that suits you. You are empowered to do that through consciousness because you are the consciousness. But we want to be careful that we don't start thinking of the consciousness as God, because God is a limited concept created by man, woman, humans. The consciousness is not created. It has always been, and it will always be. And you are a part of that. To recognize that in your life when there's a problem, you can go to yourself as consciousness and see a solution. When you need healing, you go to yourself to realize that you are consciousness and you have healing, transformation, transcendence. So it is something that one would call some deity, but that limits it because those are concepts. The consciousness is not a concept. It is an actuality of the life force of all that is, eternal, absolute. And as you embrace that, you begin to discover that there's something very powerful that resides within you. You are not dependent on the outside. And in this way, in these times of this chaos in this world, the dysfunctionality of systems, you create within yourself a new reality, a new way of being. And as you see through these eyes, you understand that everything on the outside is but limitations, has no actuality, it's made up. I know that's funny to think, is it made up? Why is it made up that way? Well, it's the nature of human beings to create chaos because of selfishness, greed, jealousy, wanting to be all powerful. But those are conflicts to the truth of the consciousness. Those are an adversary to life itself. So it's time to begin to recognize that there's something far more powerful within you than is on the outside. As you connect in the consciousness, you begin to realize that there is no problem. Everything can be solved when you allow. The problem has been that you get in the way. You want it to be a certain way. You think you need this or need that. But to recognize that the highest good is always taking place. I know the intellect rebels. How could this be the highest good? This chaos, this dysfunctionality of human beings. How could this be the highest good? Well, through the consciousness, we are evolving, gaining a greater perspective of possibilities within our true self. And there is where feeling knowing works the best. When you allow feeling knowing in your life, you're always kind of on the top. You're not overwhelmed with they say or what's out there because you see through it. You see it as a state of transformation, of change. And change is often resisted because we want things to stay the same. But in the consciousness, everything is evolving, everything is changing constantly. It is not stagnant, it's not crystallized. It is alive, it is fluid, full of absoluteness and potential, constantly present, not elsewhere, but everywhere. That's funny not to be elsewhere, but to be everywhere. There is no boundary, there is no limit, there is no other. And that's the most important thing to realize because we are programmed with beliefs and concepts about the other. And we expect the other to come and take care of us. We're taught that there's a higher power that will intercede and make things better. The consciousness doesn't work that way. It empowers you to realize a solution within yourself. And you know it is you, it's not something else. Simply because you are the consciousness, so it can't be something else. It is you. So you are the master and creator of your life, moment by moment. When you remain connected to your true self is the consciousness. To realize that, to experience it, to know it, is a way of life that we create. We recreate our life in the image of absolute knowing through feeling knowing. To know, to see beyond the boundaries and limitations of human existence. To realize that it's just one stage of evolution. And humans have the opportunity to evolve, to move beyond the past. But at the moment, they seem to be very stuck in the past. I want it this way, it needs to be that way, it's supposed to be this way. The consciousness knows no way. It just is always. And as you embrace the consciousness within yourself, you see beyond those limitations placed on you by the past, by beliefs, by consensus reality. So this is true freedom. Freedom to be all you can be moment by moment, with no boundary or limitation to your possibility. The intellect is, oh, that's foolish, it can't happen. Well, I disagree. It is always happening. We just don't realize it. Every movement you make, every moment you take, every act you make is part of you and feeling knowing, unfolding a greater possibility. To be all you can be as the consciousness is to let go of what you want to be or think you should be and become who you are. If you can begin to accept yourself as you are, you take a giant step into liberation and evolution and transformation. You step aside from the beliefs and concepts and conditions. You see them around you, but you know them for what they are. Set up beliefs through consensus reality and conditions, and beliefs are false. They have no actuality to them. Beliefs. And beliefs will fall like leaves on a tree in the fall. May they fall quickly, because one in humanity is often limited by those things. Through the consciousness that you are, there's no boundary, there's no limit. There's no end to your beingness. This is just one stage and level of what you are. To realize that, you begin to see, wait a minute, this is not all that important, because there's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to be. This is just a moment in my time. There's an unending flow of the life essence that you are. That is the true self, not the made-up self, not the believed-in self, not the other self, but the true self. The true self functions through feeling, knowing, step by step, moment by moment, constantly becoming, transcending the past, and creating within yourself the possibility of a new future, a new way of seeing things. That is the great power of the consciousness, because you can rethink, re-see, re-know, and go beyond the limits and boundaries of the past. But most humans are stuck in the past because of beliefs and conditioning. The belief is, this is the way it has to be, this is my lot in life, this is all I am. When you wake up to your true self, there is no this is all I am. You begin to realize you are unlimited in your possibilities. You're unlimited in your life stream. You're unlimited in all ways and beings of your existence. You exist because the consciousness exists. And when you know that, you know something that's far greater than anything that this world has to offer. So, allow it. Allow this possibility. Allow it to become the centerpiece of your existence, of your life. And you will recognize the transformation and change that is taking place.
Shantara says, thanks, Ishvara.
You're welcome.
And Tim says, thank you, Ishvara.
You are welcome.
And Anna and Slava say, thank you, Ishvara.
You're welcome. Thank you for being with us today. And thank you for your love and support. And most of all, thank you for being who you are in this very moment.